Hello everyone. In today's video, I want to tackle this one topic that's been bugging me for a while. I mean, we can see all the news headlines. We've got rising interest rates, we've got housing prices still, although it's been correcting itself, it's still a little bit high. And so some of you are probably aspiring real estate investors or wanting to buy your first home. Well, I want to talk about this strategy, this awesome strategy that I've done and many of my clients have done, which is one of the easiest ways to start building your real estate empire. And it starts with these 5 steps. Now, whether you're a first-time homebuyer looking for a new property for yourself to move into, or you're an aspiring real estate investor looking to build your real estate empire in the most cost-effective manner, well, I'm going to reveal the most easiest strategy you can do and your future self will thank you for it, and that is adding an income suite. Before you jump in and go to the real estate market and start sifting through deals of finding an income property with a legal income suite, I want to talk about these 5 steps to help you prepare for that in a few minutes. Hello everyone, it's Tracy here. I'm a Canadian DIY investor, and in my channel, I love sharing about my journey, my personal journey with investing in stocks and real estate to create multiple streams of income. Now, my goal for my channel is to help as many people as possible to build confidence with investing in stocks, investing in real estate, so that you can take financial control of your future, and earn financial independence. If that's something you desire, then you definitely want to hit the subscribe button and that bell notification button so you get the latest and greatest videos coming to you every single week. So let's get back with the video. So the first step is get your finances in order, because in order to find, obviously, any property requires cash. That could be a minimum of 5% down if you decide to move into it, or it could go up as much as more than 20% down if you decide to buy a rental property that you don't move into. But no matter what, you need some cash, and I would really stress to start building really, really good habits right now. That is to live under your means, because when you start owning a property, there are expenses, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but overall, obviously, you do better. Owning an asset. Big tip for you. If you are in a special place where you have a partner and you're able to do this, which is to survive off of one person's salary, this is going to be big. If you can do that, this is going to be one of the greatest things you could do for your life. I know it's hard to live under your means in the beginning, especially if you're a new graduate. You're like, oh, I want to go on many trips and buy that new car, but I would really, really stress, hold off. Live under your means. Build a big nest egg right now. Your future self will definitely thank you for it, because over the years, you're going to let your assets compound over time. And it always starts with getting your finances in order. Step number 2, math it up. So the key to this step is doing preparation homework, which is scouring listings, scouring Facebook Marketplace, scouring Rent-A-Meter to check what's the comparable rent of this income suite that you're looking at. If you're looking at a 2-bedroom income suite in this certain location, check what is the comparable rent and check what are the features with this rental income suite, because this is going to give you an idea of not only what type of rent you can collect, but what type of income suite you need to have to compete with what's in the market. Now, the next thing you also need to do is math it up with how much it would cost to upgrade this income suite, whether it's doing minor renovations, which is like upgrading the kitchen with some nicer countertops with more modern cupboards, like IKEA cupboards, or you have to go all out and add an income suite. Here's a budget rule that you can follow. And this is nothing that I made up. This is something to do with Scott McGillivray. He has a rule of thumb when it comes to construction costs, which is no more than 2 years worth of annual rent. Okay, so if the annual rent you can collect is $20,000, well, then the maximum budget you have for that income suite is $40,000. Okay, so if you're looking to add an income suite, it is no more than 2 years worth of rental income. Now, $40,000 could be a pretty big number for you to even fathom adding income suite, but keep in mind that you're going to collect years and years worth of rental income. Imagine what can you do with that money. Now, of course, if you decide to borrow money to complete the renovations, probably the first things you're going to do is take that rent that you collect and start paying off that loan. Now, imagine after 2 years of paying off that loan, well, how much money you can dump towards your mortgage. Maybe you can live almost for free, Or maybe you can use that money to go buy your next rental property. That's actually exactly how I started early in my real estate investing journey. Now, the next step is deciding on the space. Now, the easiest thing you do is actually find a property that already has a legal income suite, or you can convert it to a legal income suite. Now, one of the hardest things you can do is actually adding an income suite. It's not super hard, it's just more like a pain in the butt because you have to manage contractors and you have to pull a permit. But here's some things you need to be mindful. You'll need a separate entrance for that income suite. You'll need fire safety, being a fire extinguisher, fire rated insulation, drywall that's fire rated. You'll need smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. You also need a sound barrier so that you reduce the noise from the income suite. You'll also need specific size windows, so such that it's a separate egress, meaning it's a separate way for that person to get out just in case of a fire. So that window has to be a certain size. Also, the ceiling has to be a certain height. Big tip, avoid any income suite that has very low ceilings. Not only is it a pain in the butt just to rent it out, but likely it's an illegal income suite. Parking is also huge, okay? So if you're looking for an income suite, make sure that your driveway can fit more than one car, or you have a back alley where there's another placement for parking, okay? Because the tenant is probably going to look for parking, or at the very bare minimum, maybe because parking is hot real estate, like say in places like Vancouver or Toronto, then make sure that the income suite is very close to transit, such that parking isn't such of a barrier. Of course, an added bonus is having laundry in the unit. Now, the next step is a big step, which is preparing for renovations. Now, a great way to reduce costs on your renovations is looking at rebates by the government. If your home is a little bit older, maybe it has outdated appliances, there's a lot of incentives from your local government that can give you a bunch of rebates for new appliances. Now, in terms of budgeting for renovations, make sure you keep a reserve of 15 to 20% extra on top of your renovation budget, because you know what? Things, don't always go according to plan. So this is a great rule of thumb, is to keep at least 15 to 20% of extra contingency costs. And I would really stress, try not to be emotional about your renovations. Keep in mind that you're doing this to essentially help offset your life expenses. Maybe you want to start living like you're mortgage free, or you're looking to accumulate your next down payment for your next rental property, or you're just needing to pay for life expenses. Well, then you just want to keep your costs down, which is maybe not striving for that most expensive appliance in your income suite. Instead of going for the high-end maple hardwood floor, go for engineered hardwood, maybe go for luxury vinyl. That's a great way to keep costs down. Now, here's a great tip for thinking of what type of renovations you need to complete. Who's your ideal tenant? Because whoever's your ideal tenant is going to dictate what type of renovations you're going to complete. If you're just going for a student rental, then you don't need to go with luxury finishes. Maybe you could avoid the granite countertop, because first it's a pain in the butt to get that replaced. You could just go for laminate countertops and laminate flooring. But if you're attracting obviously higher end tenant, then that will dictate higher end finishes. But I would say that's how you manage your emotions with your renovations. It's figuring out what type of tenants you're looking to attract. And the last thing is take action. Now, I can go on and on about all these tips about how to build your real estate empire, but the last thing you always need to do is actually start taking steps. That may be reaching out to your local mortgage broker and saying, hey, what budget can you afford to buy your next rental property or buying your first home? Maybe it's actually going out and getting a realtor and getting listings so you get an idea of what a property would cost with an income suite. Or maybe you could just go look at Facebook Marketplace and just say, hey, what does a 2-bedroom income suite rent collect at this time? Okay. Just all I'm asking is just take baby steps. Take one step at a time, but please take action and start getting the ball rolling, because in the end, your future self would thank you. Just imagine if you owned a property that had a 2-bedroom income suite for the next 10 years, how much money you would save in your mortgage, how much money you could save for your kids. Sure, you might be sacrificing a bit of space, like I have. Actually, I still sacrifice space in my own home to have an income suite, because I think it's so worth it to keep your personal expenses low so that you can continuously and consistently invest in your own future, in your kids' future, and reduce financial stress in your life. If you want to learn more about real estate investing in Canada for Canadian DIY investors who actually have careers but want to do this part-time, check out this playlist up here.